Hello movie buffs! As you may know, action legend Sylvester Stallone brought Rambo back to the big screen in 2019 with the seemingly conclusive titled Rambo Last Blood. Rambo Last Blood was widely assumed to be the tormented veteran's final outing, but Stallone has since hinted on social media that this may not be the case after all, owing in part to his explicit statement to that effect. If we're lucky, John Rambo will make a reappearance in Rambo 6. Rambo Last Blood, which had previously been available on Amazon Prime Video since May, has now arrived on Apple TV. Stallone unexpectedly revealed that despite the fact that the marketing for Last Blood claimed it was the final Rambo adventure, viewers had never seen John Rambo before. Sylvester Stallone appears to be much more taken with the extended version of Rambo Last Blood, referring to it as the real journey and maybe delaying any official announcements about the character's return until the success of this other version of the film's release. Stallone's return as Rambo has been met with less enthusiasm by critics than that of another of his iconic movie characters, boxing hero Rocky Balboa, who was not only brought back to finish his franchise but was also successfully spun off into the critically acclaimed film Creed, starring Michael B. Jordan. Meanwhile, Rambo Last Blood received harsh criticism upon its initial release, with complaints about the writing, the graphic violence, and accusations of racism and xenophobia toward Mexico. While not quite the flow labeled at the time, the film's worldwide box office take of over $91 million against a production budget of $50 million and estimated costs of roughly $30 million for print and advertising is undeniably disappointing for a Stallone Rambo film. Given the critical and commercial failures, it's no surprise that Stallone is considering giving Rambo one more chance to leave the world of film on a high note. Sylvester Stallone reprises his role as one of the greatest action heroes of all time, John Rambo, over 4 decades after the last adventure and nearly 10 years after he drew his first blood. Rambo's peaceful life at his late father's horse ranch in Arizona is upended when Gabriella, a friend's granddaughter, goes mixing in Mexico. He decides to release her from the local cartel's control, beginning a circle of retaliation. Adrian Grunberg directs Rambo Last Blood, the 5th installment in the Rambo series, which stars Paz Vega, Sergio Perez-Menchita, Adriana Barraza, Yvette Monreal, Jeannie Kim, Joaquin Coso, and Oscar Janetta. Matthew Cyrulnik and Sylvester Stallone collaborated on the screenplay. From Sylvester Stallone's official Instagram account, we get this. More recently, Sylvester Stallone gives fans an update on the progress of the Rambo prequel film, which is currently in production, stating that he believes it will be released eventually. Sylvester Stallone recently addressed the possibility of a Rambo prequel in an interview. The renowned actor, writer, and director has been working for more than 50 years and shows no signs of slowing down. For Paramount's new The Tulsa King series, he played a mafia leader tasked with building a criminal empire in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's recently been working on projects such as James Gunn's critically acclaimed Guardian of the Galaxy, where he plays the leader of Revengers and has a really cool scene where he stops a spaceship in space by himself. Stallone elevated the character of John Rambo to the same level as his legendary portrayal of Rocky Balboa, beginning with the 1982 film First Blood. Over the course of 40 years, the combat-tested Vietnam veteran has faced off against everyone from Soviet Russians in Rambo First Blood Part 2 and Rambo III to a Mexican cartel in Rambo Last Blood. Although these sequels have fans, the fantastical ideas are a far cry from the intensity that made the original First Blood a beloved film in the canon of 1980s action films. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Stallone recently told fans that he is still hopeful about getting a prequel about the life of John Rambo made. However, the actor does not appear to know where the prequel will go. "I believe it will happen," Stallone added. "I wanted to approach it in the same way that a Ken Burns Vietnam documentary would, by first introducing a young Rambo as a friendly football captain and then showing the inspiration behind his transformation into Rambo. They do plan to write a contemporary story in which I relinquish leadership. That is approaching." Rambo is frequently a very isolated and silent figure, only occasionally revealing glimpses of his inner frailty in scenes ranging from the heartbreaking finale of First Blood to the opening act of Rambo Last Blood. Longtime fans may find Stallone's ideas about portraying a young Rambo as an outgoing football captain strange, but that strategy may be exactly what the prequel needs to give more depth to a frequently one-note character. Furthermore, the drama surrounding Rambo's growth as a young soldier and his interactions with Colonel Troutman, who serves as a mentor in the first 3 films, may be compelling. As we said earlier, Rambo Last Blood had a mediocre box office performance in 2019, and many critics and fans found the film's nihilism and cruelty to be unappealing. Perhaps a more character-driven prequel, as Stallone suggests, could bring back the heart to the series that has been missing since the early Rambo chapters, with their excessive gore and somewhat retrograde political leanings. Whatever the strategy, fans should be excited to learn that Stallone will be involved in John Rambo's return and that the actor's story is far from over. If Rambo 6 does happen, the only way to save the franchise is to follow Rocky's example and stop paying attention to Sylvester Stallone. Rambo hasn't had much success recently, and the only way for Rambo 6 to succeed is to emulate Rocky and forget about Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone's most well-known works are the 2 film series. Rambo Last Blood made the mistake of keeping the 76-year-old actor in the lead, whereas Creed made the wise decision to cast Stallone as a supporting character. After returning home from Vietnam veteran John Rambo is forced to fight a small town's police in the first Rambo film, First Blood. Despite the fact that the Rambo franchise now has 5 films instead of the original, which was intended to be a standalone, none of them feel necessary. Rambo Last Blood, the most recent entry in the franchise, was a critical and commercial flop, demonstrating the series' complete deterioration. However, it is not irreversible. In the event of Rambo 6, all he'd have to do is recreate Rocky's journey. The Creed trilogy, the most recent Rocky films, follows Adonis Creed, who is the son of Apollo Creed, as he is trained by Rocky Balboa rather than Rocky Balboa's boxing career. Since the Creed films have received critical acclaim unprecedented in the Rocky franchise, they have demonstrated that focusing on younger talent and relegating Stallone to a supporting role is the best course of action. Even though Sly is still a fantastic actor, he's simply too old to play the lead in an action film, as demonstrated by Stallone's most recent superhero film, Samaritan. Rambo 6 would benefit from focusing on a younger lead. Stallone can still play a role, but not the main one. One possibility is to focus on a relative of Colonel Troutman, who has played Rambo's father since the first film. The series could return to its roots by telling the story of a soldier suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and how Rambo can help them. Rambo 6 would be following in the footsteps of Creed by doing so, potentially revitalizing the series after all these years. Well, that's it. For now, we bring an end to this video, but we will come back with some new and interesting videos in the future. Till then, make sure that you like our video, and do share your views and opinions with us in the comments section below. Subscribe to the channel to get updated regularly with the latest news and reviews on all your favorite TV shows and movies, and do not forget to hit the bell icon to never miss an update. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you at the next one.